Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing great out there. Just want to go ahead and jump right in. This is the first time that I'm doing this out of prompting, so here we go. We'll see how it goes. But this is all about what is love. And so, for those of you who are a fan like me, I love to talk about love. And sometimes love can be a tough subject, and we just don't know what we're going to get. So, let's go ahead and just have a little fun with it. So, hopefully, you don't mind. Everybody remember that song? Heck yeah. Don't hurt me no more. This is my husband's My Beloved Tino. He loves this jam, so I had to play it just for him because I love you. So anyhow, just want to get on with the subject. What is love? It's a tough question, and a lot of times most of us rather not answer it, and so we're just going to go ahead and go there. For me, first of all, love was difficult, and I'm going to share with you from the perspectives of what I thought love was. In the beginning, for those of you that know me personally, I was raised by my mom mostly. My dad was not in my childhood anyhow, and my mom did her best to care for us. She raised us single-handedly. She was very independent. By what I mean by independent, there was men that would come into her life, and the men that would try to control things, she was like, heck no, not happening. They were out the door. And she was very hurt. She lived as, she suffered a lot. And hopefully I'll get to share with you a little bit about that later on as this stuff takes place and takes course. But what I want you to understand is what I knew love to be was a distorted sense of what we were made for. So in the beginning of My Beloved, Tino and I, love was self-destructive. I literally set our relationship up to fail. It was just weird. We even had 3 children in the midst of trying really hard to make things work, and it wasn't happening. We're trying to force things. We promised each other that we'd stay together because we weren't going to hurt our kids and make them live without a family, without a father and a mother in the home. And so in the beginning, it was really hard. We were hanging in there to make love work, make love happen for the sake of keeping our family together. Some of you might know or can relate to what I'm sharing with you guys right now. Hey Maggie, hey Peggy, hey Juanita, hey Daddy, I'm so glad you're here with me. I'm glad I'm not talking to myself, and so now I have a visual. I can see who I'm speaking to. Anyhow, so this love was hurtful. It was hard. It was tough. We would say and do things that we had no idea. We were causing more destruction than unity. We were building our foundation on rocky soil. You talk about trying to do things our way. It was a struggle. So what I thought love was when we were in the midst of this was staying together no matter what it took. Okay? That's not healthy, by the way. Another thing that I thought love was then was it hurt, but as long as there was a way that I could get even, it was okay. It was fair. It was a fair kind of hurt. I know it's so sad. It sucks to admit that now, but that's what I thought love was. And another false idea of what love was is if you love me enough, you'll do it for me. What was that? Talk about craziness. Possessive, like unbelievable. That love was jealous. It was possessive. It was bad. It was bad because it was always a hateful type of thing. Hopefully, okay, so thank you, Becky, for letting me know that it sounded kind of crackly. How about now? Is that a little better? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Oh, I know what it is. It might be this handy dandy little mic thing, and I wish I didn't have to use it, but okay, hold on. I'm learning here as I go, so bear with me. Okay, so hopefully that's better. Hope so. Let me know, Norma, Becky, let me know if that's good. Okay, so the love that I thought we were having, what we were making happen, what we were forcing was, okay, so I'm just going to take this off, and hopefully you can hear me. Now, maybe, hopefully. Only thing is I can't hear me, so go ahead. So love then was forced. It was not freely given for sure, because remember, in that relationship, we were sticking it out, doing whatever it took to make it happen, to keep our family together. And so hopefully, I was hoping then that would be enough, okay? So whenever there was a threat from the outside that would come in, the fences and walls were built, and I would get very crazy, like crazy. Oh man, I am sorry guys. Hopefully this works better. I don't know why it's crackling. Now? Maybe? Hopefully? Wow, I don't know. Well, I know it's probably some kind of evil thing coming up against me, so we'll just renounce that and be rid of it. Jesus, I trust in you. Okay, so the love that I thought I was meant for was very destructive. I was very broken. I was very wounded. I was very distorted and twisted in what I thought love was then. And I would self-destruct, literally. I would do things to manipulate our relationship where I would find an easy way out, and thought that this was love. Thought that that's what you were supposed to do. And in a sense, and those of you that know me, know us, we did split up. We split up a couple of times, and we hurt each other profusely because of it. But we didn't know what to do to keep holding on, and just holding on wasn't enough. And so that was love. That's what I thought love was. Okay, so then, of course, after living that love out for years, it didn't work. It didn't make sense. So we finally get married in the church. We tap into what love is supposed to be, we thought, according to what God had planned. But we still had a bit of, we were still confused. We were still wounded. We were still broken. I was still hurt. There was still stuff that was resonating within me that we had caused each other, this pain. And so love was, now you talk about love on another level, where we start to learn what love is, but it's still kind of twisted. Hey, Anthony, nice to see you. Hey, Ram, thanks for joining us. Cheryl, I love you. Erica, I miss you, Mia. So glad y'all can join us. So now we're moving into what I think love is. Okay, so now we're learning about love in the church. I'm reading the catechism, I'm jumping in, and I'm just receiving whatever it is that church is teaching us about what love is. And at this point, because of my first impression of love, what I thought love was supposed to be, especially within a relationship and within a family, because of that distortion, now coming into the church and trying to learn what love actually is and what love was intended for, I'm like all in, right? Head all in. I'm trying to learn what it is about, what the church says it is. It's sacrificial, it's discipline, it's God is love, and it was all here. It was getting stuck here, and hell or high water, I was not going to disobey what I believe this new love was all about. Now, those of you that are hearing me, it's good to learn what the church teaches about love, but it takes something else other than staying here. It has to come into the heart. And so in my first few years back into the church, I was stuck here because, it was okay that I was stuck there. And I'm going to tell you why it wasn't okay to stay stuck there. For the meantime, it's what I needed. I needed to be obedient to stay on this straight and narrow path, right? We all talk about it. It's a little hard and it's challenging, especially when you're coming in from a world of craziness, a world of hurt, a world of suffering. All you want to do is stop causing people pain and stay focused on what is good. Okay. And so for then, it was enough. But then it came to a time where that wasn't enough. I was being prompted. And it was funny because God has a funny way of using people to get his work done and to prompt his beloved children. And I hope that this is what stirs your heart, and this is why you're joining me, because there's so much that we are called to give and not keep to ourselves, that this is what this is all about. So I'm just sharing the love that I've been given and that I know. Hey Maria, glad you're with us. Okay, so then you have the head thing, right? It wasn't enough because as obedient as I wanted to be, as obedient as I was, I became very rigid and very self-righteous. And some of you may kind of correlate with what I'm saying here. I was so focused on not falling away or doing things my way that I had to just be obedient and not stir across, So, hey, Veronica. And so that was okay for the beginning of coming back to him. But then there was a time where God said, okay, that's enough of that. We need to go deeper. And he used my son, of all people, to help me see that what we were living out in this love, in my love, as I was living out love, it was wrong. It was hypocritical. It was not according to what God designed us for. It was not according to what he had planned for me. It was not real. It was to a point, but then there was, okay, so let me just share this example. Hopefully you guys can relate to this because it's a little tough to even admit. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. So it's a good thing. It's humiliating. Humbling, okay? Humble thyself before the Lord. And this is what's happening. So there was a time, love you, bye Miha, take care. There was a time where we would go to Mass because this is us coming back to the church and we were coming to Mass. Hey Eric, long time no see. So glad you're here. Hey Ross, love you guys. Okay, so we came back to the church, and in the midst of coming back, we were going to Mass and being obedient. There's that love. We went from self-destructive love to, okay, enough of that. We're causing so much harm and hurt in the world, especially within our loved ones. It's time to come into the church and see what God has planned for us, or at least get a glimpse to what love is. And we found there that God is love, and we started learning so much about our Catholic faith, and it was beautiful. But it was all in obedience. It was like we had blinders on and we were focusing. And at first, the head had to make sense, right? So what was being taught in the church remained here, and that kept me safe. It kept me safe on this path of obedience and focus and not straying and going away. But then there was this prompting that God was calling us into more. And so so let me show you a little bit give you an example of what that looked like as far as just obedience. So you ever been in a situation when you're going to Mass, and before you get to Mass, you're about to kill each other? You get into Mass, you sit down in the pew, and you're holier than thou. Everything's God. You're just trying really hard to focus on God. And you acknowledge, you realize that you're in a place, you're in a good place, you're in a respectable place, you're in a place of reverence, you're in a place of holiness. And so you just have to squash what just happened out there and be there, be present, okay? Yeah. Then you get out of Mass and go forth and supposedly take out into the world what you have just received. And the minute you get in the car, everybody's going ballistic. We're at each other's throats, we're arguing, we're fighting, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so to me, that's a great example of it being here and it not resonating. There was something not connecting, and then it was just getting bad. Hey, Betty, glad you're with us. It was crazy. So in order for us to from here to here, something else had to happen. Something had to change. And you're probably asking, well, what happened? How did it change? Now I know love as something true, something good, something beautiful. And for me, love now is to will the good of another. How in the heck did that come about? I'm going to share with you. For a few years now, I've been on this healing journey, trying to untwist some of the ways that I saw and thought love as. Very distorted, very twisted, very wrong according to what God has planned and what God created us for. And so it was very freeing to see, very hurtful and painful in the midst of it, to see how I had lived love wrongly. And it was a hopeful thing to see that I got it all wrong, because even living that, you feel like that's not enough. There's something more that I know is out there, that I can feel within my very being, every fiber of my being, that is out there. What is that? And so in that healing journey, on that walk, hey Christine, hey Sergio, love to have you guys. Thank you for joining us, or joining me, joining us. Hey. So then something happened. God got a hold of me and began healing all those places where I thought I was loving, where I thought I was being loved. The hard reality of it was, if I didn't know love, there was a very hard reality that I couldn't give love. And I had to see that for what it was. And as painful as that was, it was huge in the turnaround of who I am and who I was meant to be from the beginning. And that's a beauty and mercy of who God is, who our Father is. And I'm so grateful, because He caught me in the midst of what we have, the time that we have left with our family, with our kiddos. You know, when our kids are grown and gone, they're out of the house, they make up their own choices, they're doing their own thing, and I had to get this right for the sake of giving it to them. We've been entrusted with so much, and our siblings, our family members, our friends, our loved ones, those that we keep in our close circles, we've been entrusted with their walk. We've been entrusted with loving them and loving them well and rightly. And so now I've learned that this love, it's true. It's out there. It is so good. It is beautiful. It is also sacrificial. There is sacrifice in love. Totally get that now. It means so much more then. Before, when it was all stuck in the head and I was so focused and obedient, sacrificial to me meant, well, I have to offer this up. And this this is a sacrifice for the good of the other, blah, blah, blah. And it was talk, just talk. Now, when it's offered up, it's really for the good of the love that I'm created for, the love that I'm called to give, the love that I'm called to receive. So now I understand without a doubt that love is to will the good of the other. So that's love. Love is to will the good of the other. What the heck does that look like? Hey, Mindy. Hey, Christine. Okay, so love to will the good of the other. That is love, to will the good of the other. What does it look like? It means loving the other as they are, where they are. Not expectations, not expecting any kind of change, not under circumstance or stipulation, nothing. There's just no injuring that person when you're loving that person. Love is to will the good of the other. A lot of times in that love, let's say we're having a bad day. It's just rough. Don't know what the heck is going on, but something is, and you can tell because everybody's on edge or a person is on edge and you don't know whether to ask or not to ask, and so you just let it be. Let it be. My place in a situation like that is now to go to prayer. Ask for wisdom. Ask for light. Before, let me tell you, before when things were like that, I would get very upset. I'd get agitated, like, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? What do you mean you don't know? Or what do you mean there's nothing wrong? And I get that way. Sometimes I have no idea what's wrong with me. Sometimes something is stirring and I'm just like confused. And this is love. When you know someone's in the midst of that, you go to prayer for them. You offer up something, some kind of wisdom. Ask for God to prompt them with what answers they're seeking, what their heart is longing for, what they're stirring within. That's love. That's love, to will the good of the other. Another beautiful example is being able to put them before you. What does that look like? As moms, you know what that looks like. It happens all the time. But if we're doing it because we have to, then is that love? We have to find a place where we can do that. Become this gift of self out of, because I will it. I want to. I have this desire to serve you in this way. That's love. Becoming a gift of self for another. That's love. Not because I have to, but because I want to. I choose to love you in this way, and this is what I'm going to do. And that, hey, Gilbert, and that doesn't mean that you have to let them know that, oh, I'm loving you this way, that's why I'm doing it. No. You to love is to will the good of the other. That means you do it without any recognition. You do it not wanting to be noticed. You do it because you love that person and you want better for them. You want greater for them. And so hopefully I've kind of painted a picture of where I've traveled in through the heart of love. So first it was what I thought it was. And that love in the beginning was very self-destructive. You talk about pushing people away. I was good at that in the beginning. I had no idea that that's what I was doing. But looking back now, I can see how self-destructive that love was. Then I came to a point to where surrendering all and coming into the church and coming back into communion and being focused, I was thinking by being obedient, I was loving. If I'm obedient enough, I can tap into this love and give it to someone else. And that was it was not good. It was a hypocritical kind of love. And it was not the love that we're created for. Although it kept me in this focus, right? On this zone, in this path. And so I tried really hard to stay there, and that meant being obedient, and that was the means that I was driven by. And that was love, because out of love I was being obedient. But it wasn't enough. It's not enough. And if you find yourself there, it's time to ask yourself, where do I need to go? Look, help me see truth in this. Help me to be enlightened. And so, hey Paul, thanks for joining us. The ultimate kind of love that I've tapped into, the beautiful gift of who we actually are, what we're meant for, is this love that is true, it's good, it's beautiful. And love is to will the good of the other. That is what we're created for. Is to and what's so awesome is that we make him visible who is invisible in that love. When we're living that, we're making him real. And it's so awesome. Hey Tommy, glad you joined us. And so hopefully, hey Diane, we can allow each other to just encourage one another. And this is what this is all going to be about. It's just an encouragement to help you live out fully what we were created for. Love fully alive. That's what it is. We got to learn how to love. Love rightly. Love according to the will of God, which means to will the good of the other. That's love in its fullness. And for those of you that missed it, you have to come back and see where the breakdown was in that love. And so I've shared all that journey with you guys. Love fully alive, becoming fully who we're meant to be. That's the goal of this. This is what these little videos are going to be, and I hope you find them encouraging. I'm loving the love that I'm getting here. I love you, Tommy. Miss you again. Hey, Leanne. Love you too. So glad you guys can join us. So love fully alive, and so we can be fully alive. Alive, not just I'm here, I'm present, checking in. Yeah. No. Alive, living abundant, living in this abundance that we were created for, fully knowing who we are. And so hopefully you guys will continue to bless with me and just look us up. I will continue to do this Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, a different series each time. You can also check this video. Hopefully I'm going to upload it to our YouTube channel, and you can tune in there as well. Share it with others. Share the love. Remember, we are meant to be loving so that we can live fully and be alive. God bless, guys. Love y'all.